So you think all amazing creatures have disappeared from the Earth? Well, guess what? Mother Evolution often has a few shocking tricks up its sleeve. While the dinosaurs and mammoths may be long extinct, some of their descendants are still around us. They might not be as big or as badass as their vanished relatives, but these surviving creatures certainly uphold the ancestral legacy. Today, we're taking a journey through time, linking the present with the past as we look at the closest living relatives of these 15 extinct animals. And trust me, these will shock you. Number 15. Megatherium. Megatherium americanum, often called the giant ground sloth, was a huge prehistoric creature reaching up to 20 feet in length and weighing several tons. Unlike its tree-dwelling descendants, it roamed the earth on foot and once thrived throughout South America during the Pleistocene epoch. With super-enormous claws and a towering frame, it lived mostly on plants, feeding on foliage and branches. Today's two-toed and three-toed sloths are far smaller and live in trees rather than walking the land. These modern sloths rarely grow larger than a medium-sized dog, but share ancestral traits with their gigantic forebear. They're herbivores, slow-moving, and have similarly structured teeth adapted for grinding vegetation. Though different in size and lifestyle, both ancient and modern sloths evolved from the same lineage. While the giant ground sloth was built for terrestrial foraging, that mode of life vanished with its extinction, leaving only its arboreal descendants to carry forward the legacy of this once dominant and deadly herbivore. Number 14. Tasmanian tiger. The Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine, was a fascinating and ferocious beast that looked like a big dog with a pouch. It once thrived across Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea. Well, the last known thylacine died in captivity not long ago, but in 1936. Despite its cool, misleading name, the Tasmanian tiger wasn't a tiger at all, but a marsupial with features like a kangaroo-like pouch and stiff tail. Its closest living relative is the famous Tasmanian devil, which is also a marsupial infamous for its bone-crushing bite and unsettling screech. Though far smaller and lacking the distinctive stripes that gave the Tasmanian tiger its name, the devil shares important traits. Both animals have similar skull shapes and dental structures. Like the thylacine, Tasmanian devils are meat-eating marsupials. Although the thylacine has vanished from the wild, the Tasmanian devil still survives, carrying the genetic torch of this unusual branch of Australia's carnivorous marsupials. Their fascinating connection marks a rare surviving thread in marsupial evolution. Number 13. Diprotodon. The Diprotodon, often referred to as the giant wombat, was the largest marsupial to ever walk this holy earth. It roamed Australia during the Pleistocene epoch and could reach up to 3.8 meters in length. Its massive frame and wide, slow-moving body made it look like a supersized version of the wombat. It had large, ever-growing front incisors used for slicing grasses and shrubs. Today's wombats are their closest living relatives. Though significantly cuter and smaller, averaging just over a meter long, they share several features, including a backward-facing pouch, strong digging limbs, and similar teeth built for grazing. Like their extinct cousin, modern wombats are herbivorous and live in burrows, occupying similar ecological roles. Despite the size difference, both species evolved from the same lineage of grazing marsupials. The Diprotodon's disappearance marked the end of megafaunal marsupials, but the wombat's survival keeps a sliver of that evolutionary legacy alive in Australia's wild landscapes. Number 12. Great auk. Pinguinus impennis, widely known as the great auk, was a large flightless seabird that once thrived across the North Atlantic, from North America to Northern Europe. It had super-strong, flipper-like wings built for swimming rather than flight, and a thick, streamlined body perfect for the cold ocean. With webbed feet and black and white plumage, it looks like a northern penguin. Hunted extensively for its feathers, meat, and oil, it was declared extinct in the mid-19th century. Its closest living relative is the razorbill, a much smaller bird that still flies and nests along rocky coasts. Though the razorbill is more agile and airborne, it shares key features with the great auk: body shape, feather color, and ocean-based lifestyle. Both belong to the Alcidae family and are expert divers. While the great auk is gone, the razorbill continues to reflect its form and behavior, preserving traits of one of the most iconic seabirds ever lost to human exploitation. Number 11. Woolly rhinoceros. Well, this one is my personal favorite. Coelodonta antiquitatis, simply known as the Great Woolly Rhinoceros, was an Ice Age giant that was built just for extreme cold. Covered in dense, shaggy fur, it roamed the tundras and plains of Europe and northern Asia. It had two horns, with the front one often exceeding a meter in length. These huge herbivores vanished around 10,000 years ago, likely from hunting and climate shifts. Its closest living relative is the Indian rhinoceros. Though it lacks the iconic woolly coat, the Indian rhino shares key features, which has massive size, similar horn structure, and tough armor-like skin. Both species belong to the same genus and have nearly identical skeletal builds. While their environments and looks differ, they carry a common heritage rooted in prehistoric strength. The Indian rhinoceros, still roaming protected grasslands, is one of the last living members of this incredible ancient lineage. Their resemblance reflects how much of the past still quietly survives in today's megafauna. Number 10. Glyptodon. The Glyptodon was a badass prehistoric armadillo the size of a small car, living during the Pleistocene epoch in what is now South America. It weighed close to a ton and measured about 3.3 meters in length. Its most notable feature was its large, dome-shaped shell made of bony plates, offering near-complete protection. Its tail was also armored in rings of bone, which it likely used as a defensive weapon. The closest living relatives of the Glyptodon are armadillos. Though far smaller, modern armadillos share many physical similarities, including protective armor made of overlapping plates covering their backs, heads, and tails. Like the Glyptodon, armadillos are mostly herbivores, feeding on vegetation, insects, and small invertebrates. Despite the vast difference in size, both species relied on their natural armor as a survival strategy. The continuation of these defensive features across millions of years highlights just how effective that shell design has been in both ancient and present-day ecosystems. Number 9. Irish elk. Megaloceros giganteus, often misnamed as the Irish elk, wasn't an actual elk at all. It was a colossal deer species. It lived across Eurasia and was most noted for its enormous antlers, which could span up to 3.6 meters. These giants reached their peak during the last ice age, but by around 7,000 years ago, they vanished, likely due to habitat changes and human pressure. Its closest living relative is the red deer, much smaller and less extravagant in antler size. Despite the dramatic difference in scale, both species share the same grazing habits, skeletal structure, and evolutionary roots. The red deer still roams forests and grasslands across Europe and parts of Asia, quietly carrying forward traits of its ancient cousin. Though the Irish elk's antlers were unmatched, its essence lives on in the red deer's posture, feeding patterns, and overall form, proof that not all amazing prehistoric legacies are completely lost to time. Number 8. Tyrannosaurus rex. T-Rex was one of the most iconic and terrifying carnivores to ever roam the planet. Towering up to 20 feet tall and stretching 12 meters in length, this killing beast ruled North America during the late Cretaceous period. With its big skull, bone-crushing teeth, and strong legs, the T-Rex was a formidable predator. Its arms were tiny but muscular, possibly used for gripping during feeding. Surprisingly, one of its closest living relatives isn't a reptile, but the common chicken. Paleontological studies show that birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs, and genetic links between chickens and T-Rex are confirmed through protein sequencing and bone structure. Both species share hollow bones, a wishbone, and lay eggs. While the chicken's appearance is far removed from its fearsome ancestor, the biological relationship is real. It's a strange twist that the modern farmyard bird is one of the last surviving echoes of Earth's most legendary meat-eater. Number 7. Woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth, also known as Mammuthus primigenius, stood as a symbol of the Ice Age's untamed wilderness. These enormous creatures roamed across Europe, North America, and Asia until their extinction about 4,000 years ago. They stood up to 11 feet tall and weighed close to 6 tons. Covered in thick fur and equipped with tusks that could reach over 16 feet in length, mammoths were built to survive the bitter cold. Their closest living relative is the Asian elephant. Despite their physical differences, no long fur, smaller size, straighter tusks, they share about 99.4% of the same DNA. Asian elephants still exhibit similar molar structure and social intelligence. Even their preferred habitats echo those of their prehistoric cousins. While the mammoth's legacy feels ancient, it's not entirely gone. It lives on in the genes, behavior, and biology of the modern Asian elephant, a living reminder of a colder, wilder age. Now let's move to Number 6. Steller's sea cow. Now, this was just cool. Hydrodamylus gigas, known as Steller's sea cow, was an enormous marine mammal that could grow up to 9 meters long and weigh nearly 10 tons. First documented in 1741 by German naturalist Georg Wilhelm Steller, this peaceful herbivore once inhabited the cold coastal waters around the Commander Islands in the Bering Sea. It fed on kelp and seagrass and moved slowly through shallow waters using its paddle-shaped tail flukes. Tragically, within just 27 years of its discovery, it was hunted to extinction for meat, fat, and hide. Its closest living relatives are the manatees and dugongs, which share similar characteristics, like rounded bodies, flipper-like forelimbs, and slow grazing habits in coastal ecosystems. Though smaller in size, manatees exhibit the same gentle nature and diet. Like the sea cow, they're also vulnerable to human threats. While Steller's sea cow no longer roams the northern seas, its evolutionary cousins still drift quietly through warm coastal shallows around the world. Number 5. Dodo. The dodo, or Rhaphis cucullatus, once inhabited the island of Mauritius, standing roughly a meter tall with a rounded body and a large hooked beak. It couldn't fly and had little fear of humans, making it an easy target. By the late 1600s, it was extinct, wiped out by hunting and invasive species. Despite its odd appearance, the dodo wasn't a bird without relatives. Its closest living kin is the Nicobar pigeon, also known as the Zandian dove. Both of these creatures belong to the family Columbidae, alongside common pigeons and doves. While the dodo was flightless and oversized, DNA proof shows the two are directly related. The Nicobar pigeon shares similar skull structure and wingbone formation, even if it's sleeker, smaller, and airborne. It survives across Southeast Asia's islands. Though the dodo is long gone, this colorful cousin still soars through coastal canopies, carrying remnants of one of history's most tragically iconic birds. Number 4. Moa. Dinornis, known as the moa, was a towering, flightless bird native to New Zealand. Some species grew as tall as 3.6 meters and weighed over 200 kilograms. They had no wings at all and lived peacefully in forests and shrublands until around 1400 CE, when overhunting by the Maori led to their extinction. Despite their size, the moa's closest relatives are today's kiwi birds, small, shy, and also flightless. Kiwis are roughly the size of a chicken, but they share the same order, Paleognathai, and exhibit strong anatomical similarities. Both birds had feather structures unsuited for flight, and both laid relatively large eggs for their body size. While the kiwi looks nothing like the towering moa, their genetic link is well documented. In a strange twist of evolution, one of the largest flightless birds ever known is now represented by one of the smallest. The kiwi remains a living thread to New Zealand's avian past. But how did it taste? Number 3. Quagga. The quagga, known scientifically as Equus quagga quagga, once grazed across South Africa's open plains. It looked like a zebra-horse hybrid, with bold black and white stripes on its front half and a solid brown rear. The last quagga died in captivity in Amsterdam in 1883. It was believed to be a separate species until genetic studies proved it was a subspecies of the plains zebra. Unlike the quagga, the plains zebra has stripes across its entire body, but both share the same genus, Equus. DNA research confirms their close relationship, and even selective breeding programs are attempting to bring back the quagga's appearance using zebras. While the quagga's strange coloring is no longer seen in the wild, its genetics live on in the striped bodies of its closest relatives. The bond between these two animals remains a striking example of how extinction doesn't always erase a species' genetic legacy. What do you think about them? Let us know. Number 2. Aurochs. Bos primigenius, better known as the aurochs, was a towering species of wild cattle that once wandered through Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Standing up to 1.8 meters at the shoulder, these animals were muscular and powerful, with both males and females sporting long, forward-curving horns. The last known aurochs died in Poland in 1627, ending the direct line of wild European cattle. Their closest living relatives are today's domestic cattle, all descended from the original aurochs lineage. Over centuries, selective breeding led to countless cattle breeds, most of which are smaller, calmer, and more specialized. Still, many physical traits, such as horn shape, digestive structure, and herd behavior, remain. Some modern breeding efforts are even attempting to recreate aurochs-like cattle for ecological restoration projects. While the true aurochs are extinct, their genetic legacy continues in the pastures and farmlands of nearly every continent, living on in a form shaped by both evolution and agriculture. Number 1. Saber-toothed tiger. The Smilodon fatalis, which is commonly known as the saber-toothed tiger, perfectly captured the brutal elegance of prehistoric predators. Roaming both North and South America, it disappeared about 10,000 years ago. It resembled modern big cats in size but was much bulkier, with adult males weighing up to 620 pounds. Known for its massive, curved upper canines, the Smilodon earned its fearsome name. Experts believe it used those deadly teeth, along with its muscular frame, to ambush prey in close quarters. Its closest living relative is the African lion, though their hunting styles differ. Lions rely on teamwork and speed, while the Smilodon likely struck alone using brute power. The lion's teeth are less extreme, but it carries the same big cat legacy. Both species sit atop their respective food chains. While one vanished with the Ice Age, the other still rules the savannas, continuing the bloodline of one of nature's most elite meat eaters. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.